This is KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Tammy Wright from the Bur Oak Land Trust in Iowa City and Johnson County. Tammy, welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Nice to see you. The Bur Oak Land Trust is a method by which people can preserve natural grounds for
forever.
Perpetuity.
That's right.
And you have many acres in Johnson County. Some activities coming up. But before we specifically get to what you have coming up here in the next couple weeks, talk to me just a little bit. I gave the real thumbnail sketch, but explain to me how the Land Trust works.
Okay. Well, our mission is to protect and conserve natural areas in and around Johnson County for future generations. And so when people want to preserve their land, they can come to us and either donate their property, or in some cases we can purchase. We're actually in the process of purchasing 40 acres right now. We have a capital campaign going. Or sometimes there's a tool called a bargain sale where they can sell it to us at a very discounted price, and sometimes there's tax deduction benefits that can come with that. There's also conservation easements that we hold 14 of. And that the owner retains the ownership of the property, but then there's a legal binding conservation easement that attaches to the deed that goes with that land forever. And so there'll be things in there that provisions that things that are allowed and things that are not allowed. And development is usually what most people are trying to protect their land from being developed into the future. And that land, that contract will go with that deed forever. And so as their heirs inherit or they sell the property, that contract goes with it. We are under the land trust. It has the responsibility of monitoring the easement annually, and to making sure that all the things that are agreed to in the contract are being done or not done. And so then that is a great way for us to be able to protect that land and care for it. And the owner still retains ownership. And so it's a great thing. There's sometimes tax benefits that come along with that as well. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, what we do. We protect the lands that we do have. We remove invasive species from them. That's a big job. We had an AmeriCorps team this last month for the whole month, which we got an immense amount of work done on our properties, which was great. So,
what are the invasive species that you're seeing?
Garlic mustard is a big one. Honeysuckle, multiflower rose. There's a big list.
There's a big list. But,
yes, unfortunately,
things that we see in our own areas.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a minimum size to the parcel?
No, we have our smallest property that we own is about an acre, and it's very, very pristine prairie out near Solon. And our smallest conservation easement is just over an acre as well, which attaches to that property.
What's the biggest?
107 acres out Turkey Creek, which is off of Sugar Bottom Road. So
okay.
That was our first property. We had 4 families that owned it together and spent a lot of weekends out there with their children, and frolicked and picnicked, and they just couldn't bear the thought of it ever being developed. So that was back in, I believe it was 1987. They donated that property, and that was our first property.
You referred to one of the properties as being pristine prairie. Does that mean that it has never been tilled and never been nothing exactly like it has been for millions of years?
That's right.
Wow.
And the only reason it survived is it had a propane tank on the property. And so this is the prairie that was around that propane tank that couldn't be tilled, or it was inaccessible. So once the propane tank left, we tried very hard to protect that from being tilled or developed, and so it's very, very nice.
So, as you said, this is about preserving the land, and in a lot of cases, some of the property still remains private, but you have some that you own and that you have some activities on, because it doesn't mean you can never go on it or never do anything on it.
Right.
It just means that it can't be developed. So tell me about the kind of activities that you invite the public to.
Yeah, so we have family days. We have 2, one in the spring and one in the fall. And the one in the spring is located on our Turkey Creek property, which is off of Sugar Bottom Road. And then the one that is coming up is September 18th, and that's on our Belgium Grove property, which is down near Hills. And It's 3261 500th Street. Iowa City is the address, but our website, www.buroaklandtrust.org, that is in Bur is with one R. And so that's a great way for families, children of all ages, to get out and really enjoy the properties. All of our properties that we own are open to the public, and we do encourage people to spend time out there. On our Belgium Grove property that we're having our event September 18th, there's a pond. It's a 5-acre pond. It's open for fishing, and we do have a lot of people taking advantage of that opportunity. A lot of people walk their pets, and that's great. We like to see people use the properties, and we try to keep them nice for those. We mow trails, and not all of our properties have trails, but some do, and some have marked trails even, and maps to show you how to get around.
So the point is not to let the grounds never be used
Right.
for things.
Just the opposite.
Just to keep them the way they are.
Right.
What about restroom facilities?
We do not have any restroom
Okay.
facilities. At Belgium Grove, actually during Family Day, there is a restroom there. We have a building there. That's our only property that has a building on it, and that's for most of our tools are stored there. And so there is a restroom for that. When we have events,
if I'm bringing all my kids, that's a question
Yeah.
I want to know the answer
yes,
to.
and we usually we spend a lot of money on renting portable toilets, but for that event, we will open up the building and have accessible restroom facilities. So that's from 1 to 3 on September 18th.
Okay, and anything else going on? I know that you have a capital campaign that you're trying to raise money to buy some more property, yes?
We do, yes. Our 40-acre Big Grove property, which is also off of Sugar Bottom Road near Solon, that has marked trails through it, and we just purchased the 40 acres directly to the east of that, and so now we have a $700,000 capital campaign that we're in the middle of and hoping to finish strong by the end of this year. So, that's been exciting, and it's really been great. Most all of our funds come from private individuals, so it's been really great to see the public and our supporters come to our rescue. And it's been great having the one-on-one conversations with everyone and finding out other ways that people can help too. It's not just writing the checks, it's finding out who's connected to who, and allowing us to be introduced to people that we haven't met yet and that haven't been able to take advantage of our properties, and to kind of get into the corporate world a little bit too. And we've had a lot of work days where we've had companies come out and spend a day instead of at work. They come out and do some bushwhacking and cutting out invasive species, and that's been a great thing, and it gets our name out. We were Johnson County Heritage Trust. We changed our name a few years ago because Johnson County Heritage Trust was very confusing to people. They didn't know what we did. And so really a big goal is to get our name out and tell people who we are and what we do. So we appreciate being here.
Tammy Wright from the Bur Oak Land Trust. You have Family Day coming up on the 18th of September. And you said, 1 to 3? 1 to 3.
Yes.
Come out, bring the family, let them
Yes.
experience a true natural prairie in Johnson County. And if people want more information about the capital campaign, maps to the Family Day, your website again is?
www.buroaklandtrust.org, and Bur Oak is with one R.
Tammy, thanks so much for coming in. Good luck.
you.
I hope you have a big crowd.
I do too. Thanks so much.